Whew, Andrew.
I'm wet. It's raining.
He's wet.
I am.
What, dude? This has been a close one. You've narrowly escaped death.
I almost hit a person.
Yeah, you almost killed somebody.
They were in
all in the past 45 minutes.
It's dark outside. They were literally standing on the white dotted line. Traffic coming to me. I can't see anything. And I went to get over into the next lane because it's white line. So it's 2 lanes here and there. And dude, I was like it might not even, what if it was a ghost? I don't even know. It's totally unrelated.
I'm sure we all have had these stories. I for some reason, every time we're coming back from the ramp on a Wednesday nighter, somebody's there on the white line, like at 10 o'clock at night. Like, what are you doing? Like, and dude, you've traveled through Sebring, right?
Once.
Is it not like 1,000 miles of orange grove? Like, where are you even walking from and to at this time of night? And why didn't you get started a little earlier, dude? Because it's 10 o'clock.
Roughly,
miles.
I might be able to shed some light on that. I hail from a town called Pearson, which is nothing but orange groves and ferneries. So yeah, no, there's not a lot in those places. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's been a crazy Thursday. I had an awesome lunch with Georgia Turner from West Volusia Tourism. And there are some really cool things coming down the pipeline. I cannot get into it yet, but I have a follow-up meeting with her, not this coming week, but probably, well, it could be as early as Friday. I gotta confirm the date, but
good. So
really I got cool things coming for NextFish.
How was the food? What was the
Big Chop, dude? So I got the Boulevard, right? This Boulevard is basically a chicken sandwich, but it was on grilled sourdough bread with it was like a caprese feel. It had basil, spinach, tomato, balsamic glaze, and really juicy chicken. Dude, it was so good. And then I got plantains at the side instead of French fries.
What? Fancy?
It was fancy.
Fancy? It's a fancy chicken sandwich?
It was good.
Was it the best chicken sandwich you've ever had?
No, it's sadly Chick-fil-A.
What?
I'll go down that argument because I've had the Popeyes and the KFC. I don't care about that stuff.
I got stories for you about Popeyes, but that's neither here nor there. Dude, we got a pretty awesome guest, man, who's came in the game and just like pretty much took it over and had an awesome rookie season.
It's like he shows up and he just decides that's what he wants to do. He's like, I'm going to be a kayak angler. And I'm going to go out there and I'm going to show everybody that I could just destroy everyone my rookie year in this trail.
Yeah. I'm going to come from the total opposite of the country down here, knock it out of the park rookie season. And just
no big deal. No big deal.
Dude, that's what I do.
Yeah. No. And to do it on the St. John's River at that, but whatever. I can't even catch fish down at the pond right here. So
yes, you can. No. You've been doing good. Do you have your little secret weapon that you've been catching them on? The little split tail. I want people to see this thing. It's simple, guys, but it works, man. That split tail shad on the back of any type of vibrating jig. Andrew's been using, what have you been using? The Willow Vibe?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great trailer. It's awesome on a jackhammer.
Okay, well, I actually don't have it on a Willow Vibe, but I do have it on a.
Oh man, you're gonna give him the juice, man. Look at that.
This is the little
that's
the
that
new
little
chatterbait mini. It's 1/4 ounce, and it is absolutely crazy. So this is the Snowstorm split tail shad, and it is money. Where is it at? There we go.
There it is. Clean.
So I'm a sucker for this whole setup. The small bladed jigs, I'm in it to win it. I've got a fly that is just destroying my life right now.
He's like your friend. Is that the same one? He's growing.
Dude, it might be.
Where's he going? You haven't taken care of him since last time.
Right. I've got a bug assault gun, but if I go and get it, we're gonna get banned on the live feed. So no, but listen, let's bring the guest in right after this, and let's just get started because I want to talk to him. I've got a lot of questions about his success on the.
Me too. I have a lot of questions about his journey and like he just came in and dominated. So we'll bring him on right after this. Powerful.
Things you let me see.
Did you get him?
I got it.
You got him. Did you catch that, Buzz? He's like freaking the what is that guy on the
Fly Ninja?
Yeah, the Fly Ninja. He
No, dude. But legit, I got chopsticks right here.
If you would have caught him with the chopsticks, props. Next fly,
I will.
catch him.
I
So
feel
Buzz,
bad. I should have given him a name by now. Buzz, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Thanks for inviting me, guys. I'm happy to be here.
Awesome. Thanks for taking the time to talk with us and to fly. So let's just get right into it, buddy. We were talking a little bit earlier. You moved from Ohio down here and pretty much just dominated the kayak game right off rip. Tell us a little bit about that journey and why the move and what it was all about for you.
Well, first, I heard you guys a little while ago. You guys are like my new fan club. I really appreciate that. I was putting the pressure on me really early on. It wasn't quite like any domination or anything. I've had a good season. I've had some ups and downs, that's why I'm here tonight to kind of tell you about some of those. But yeah, my wife and I moved from Toledo, Ohio. We moved down back to my wife's hometown. We spent a lot of time here. Is where we met, and I used to teach at a community college here. I taught college kids how to become zookeepers for a long time. So,
Sweet.
Yeah. So I've been in the zoo world for a long time, and then after job losses and so forth around COVID, we decided to come back down here and kind of resituated our career situation. So we're both realtors. We work as a team. So anybody in the Gainesville, North Central Florida needs a realtor, I'm happy to help out.
There you go. There you go.
But also kind of a side hustle is I wanted to start doing was a kayak fishing guide and eco tour service. So I have a graduate degree from University of Florida in ecology and a business degree as well, MBA. So it was always a good fit. I've always been very interested in kind of a life goal to connect people to wildlife and to nature and outdoors. Mm-hmm. And always was really interested in fishing and just thought, well, this is an awesome, hey, Dave, how's it going? It was just an awesome way to continue to do that. So the realty business has given me a lot of flexibility in my time schedule. So in order to take customers out and clients on the Santa Fe River, where I really want to focus on Suwannee bass. It's like a lot of people don't know about them, but that's why I want to focus on them. It's a really specialized species, with the world record being 3.89 pounds. It's not a very big fish, but
right up my alley.
Yeah. They're just, that's the cool thing is like every time you go out, I think you really do have a chance to get a world record. And they're only located in 2 river systems in the whole world. And so it's a fun place. And even if you just catch a bunch of 8 to 10 inchers, the area is just so beautiful that, you see a ton of wildlife. You feel like you're in old Florida, and it's great. It's a wonderful time. Great river. The Santa Fe River, Suwannee River area is where I focus on. So,
dude, I would. So I've caught largemouth. I've caught smallmouth. I've caught shoal bass. I've caught spots. I've never caught a Swanee. I've never caught a Bartram's. I've never caught. There's a couple others, I think, and I would love to catch Swanee. I got to come up there and fish with you.
Yeah, man. I would love to have you. I'd just take you out and get some film on it or that sort of thing. Yeah. Yeah, they're fun. They really fight hard. I like to call them the North Florida smallmouth, even though there's not smallmouth in Florida. Yeah. But they're really neat looking. All this blue turquoise on their jawline.
Really?
They're fantastic. Yeah,
I was
really cool.
Say,
fight hard for a little fish.
I've seen some YouTube videos of some guys catching them, and there's not many videos. And then, like you said, Buzz, there's not much information about them or, like, I guess, awareness of them.
Right.
But from what I can see, they're pretty aggressive little guys, though.
They are.
They were hitting top water like insanely hard, like blowing it out of the water.
And the spawn lasts till like June. So in Florida, we're December, and you're like, oh, everything's done by February. So, but with the cool water, you can be deep into the summer and still catch large fish. So
nice.
That's awesome. What are some of the tactics you use to target those guys? Like, what is same thing as bass, just downsize a little bit? Or
yeah, so it's really, especially it's fun because it's on light gear, and I bet this summer I really killed him on just wacky worms. I mean,
would something like this work?
If it was smaller, like if you cut it in half, probably. The spinner baits, little Rebel series, crankbaits.
Dude, that's right up my alley. I love that little finesse.
How about fly?
They focused those guys are really focused on crayfish on part of their natural diet. So they'll eat other things, and I think that's why I really killed him on wacky worm, because a lot of people fish with crayfish mimics, crankbaits and things like that.
Yeah.
So maybe they just didn't know about them, or they weren't used to them. But
right.
I tell you, I went with some colleagues of mine, some dealers who sell new canoes. So Rum 138, I really focus with them. St. Augustine Alligator Sports, Dave Hernandez, he's the man there.
Dave's awesome.
And then Beach Basement Kayaks in Homosassa. So all those guys are really good at understanding the species in their areas, and they've been really, really helpful for me. So highly recommend it. If you don't see me, go see one of those guys in their area, and they'll put you on fish for sure.
Dave is known for his Hulk minnows, man.
Oh yeah,
mud minnows. Yeah. I love that place up there.
Yeah.
Is it still a blue building?
Yeah, it's still the blue building there on the way to St. Augustine. Yeah. And you gotta, I think he likes to say something like, no matter what, you have to go by us or something. It's like anywhere you're going to St. Augustine, you gotta go by his place. So
yeah.
But they're really focused on what do they call it? Snooktopia right now. There's a whole bunch of guys who go down to
Swab and all
Jensen Beach. Yeah, exactly. So that's going on next week. But but anyway, we went to the Santa Fe River and had a good time, and that's kind of like what I try to do in my spare time. And then I've been focused a lot more. This is the first year I've really been focused on competitive angling. I didn't grow up with a boat or really even fishing that much, so I don't think I touched a spinning reel until I was in college.
Really?
And
wow.
So when I talk about my rookie season, I just turned 52 years old. So this is, I've been fishing since I was in high school or anything. So for me, 52, man, it's not there anymore. So
I'm 33 and I'm almost there, man. What is the secret? Andrew, I need to get back to the kayak, man. That's what it is.
It's a big part of a healthy environment.
Yeah, so my wife's cooking has kept me young.
There you go. Nothing wrong with that.
Mine must be aging me or something.
No,
I love you, babe.
So tell all of us before we get into the actual event and what went down in the St. John's, what was your overall thought, and did you have any anxieties about joining a club, a trail, and figuring all that out? What drove you to decide that, all right, I'm going to do it?
Well, I knew I wanted to do this fishing, this fishing side hustle business, and I wanted to start building a fishing resume. I knew that outside of New Canoe, who I've been talking to and begging for years to kind of be on their team and that sort of thing, but I really didn't have a fishing resume, and I wanted to get more experience too. It's been prior. I was in Gainesville for 14 years, but between all the other jobs that I was chasing in the zoo world, it was another, it's been 8 to 10 years since I've been back down here. So no matter what I did before, it really didn't matter that much because things change. So I wanted to fish around the state. I got a kind of a side goal, to catch a fish in every county of the state over the next few years. I've already got 25 counties already out of 67. So,
nice.
Just another side thing that, looks good on the resume. If I can say there's not a lot of guides. I mean, maybe there are, but I just didn't think there are a lot of guides that can say, hey, I've caught a fish in every county in the state of Florida. So that was kind of initially. And then, no, I didn't know what I was doing going into the club. I had never done it. I fished a lot in Richmond, Virginia on a lake that we lived on. That was where I first started fishing out of a kayak instead of off the bank. We had a house there, and I think I mentioned this to somebody else that my wife thought she thought she was a fishing widow because I would fish in the morning, then go to work, come back home, eat dinner really fast, and then go out fishing again. She's like, this is, she was kind of happy we left and went to Toledo. For that, she got to see me a little bit more. But I certainly missed that lake, but that's where I got addicted to kayak fishing. And so when I found out the Kayak Anglers of Florida was around, I think I saw them on the internet, I just felt totally blessed. This is, a good fit for what I want to do.
Yeah.
And in my first tournament, I was at Lake Jackson, I caught two the day before the tournament. I caught two large fish in pre-fishing, and then the whole day I just suffered. And I think I ended up catching one fish and lost like 5. So after my first tournament, I was in last place. And so I was like, well, at that moment, I said, okay, well, at least I caught a fish. I tried to be positive. And then I just at that point said that I'm going to be the most improved. So even though there wasn't a most improved, trophy or goal or something like that, I just knew that that's what I wanted to do. And I have to say, again, thanks to Randy Newton, Ryan O'Neill, Chris, and all the people in the Kayak Anglers of Florida, the fact that I had so many ups was because everyone was really generous with trying to help, when I asked questions. And I guess I would say if anybody who wants to start into kayak fishing, if you're not into it and you want to get into it, just don't be afraid to ask people. Like I can tell, I fish with, I could call any of the winners up and they would have, and not just from after the show. But they would tell you exactly what they did or how to get better. And I just had a conversation with Ryan O'Neill today about, helping me get better with spinner baits, because it's not a specialty of mine.
Right.
So when I said I had some ups and downs, I did really well at Fellsmere. I had 4th place. That was after my one fish at Lake Jackson. And then, I got then in Istapoga, I think is how you say it.
Yeah.
I got skunked 2 days in a row. So your confidence goes, up and down and up and down. And then I got a 3rd place at Rodman, and that's only 45 minutes from my house. So I got out there at least 3 times beforehand, and that really gave me a lot of confidence. That told me if I can get on the water at least 3 times, I can probably find a bunch of fish and at least finish in the middle of the pack. And that's what happened at Harris. And I started getting more confidence, and then it became a goal, instead of just catching a few fish and getting better each time, is could I sneak into the championship and qualify for that? And which I did. I finished 11th in the AOY standings, and that's getting skunked in one tournament, and I didn't go to another one. So I had 3 top 5 finishes if you include the championship, which I got 3rd in.
That's awesome.
That is insane.
And don't feel bad about Istapoga. That's my backyard. I'm like 15 minutes away from that lake, and that is a very tough lake.
You got to understand something about Joe. He fished Wednesday nighters all over the place every week and didn't win one of them.
No, as soon as we introduced trophies to the tournament series, we didn't win a single one. But like before that, we were just freaking 1st, 2nd, or 3rd.
Yeah, nice.
Boom. Start losing.
No hardware now.
Yeah.
So tell us about the championship. What was your experience there? Obviously, I got to meet you there as well. I know we met at ICAST, but I got to come out and hang out with you guys for a few minutes there. You guys were having a great time cutting it up at Persimmon Hollow, and I want to know, how did you break down the St. Johns River, and did you have a plan that stuck, or did you have to kind of wing it at a certain point?
Yeah, that's a tough fishery.
It changes daily. It changes minutes.
Yeah, well, I talked to a few people as much as I could. We have a great shop here in Gainesville called Gary's Tackle Box, and they also, if you're going to fish up here, go on their website, because they can tell you how the fishing is doing and so forth. And Gary was pretty helpful, giving me some ideas about not what to fish necessarily, but he's been doing it and been in the pros for a long time. So they're always very helpful there. So that's usually where I start, and just let them know what I'm doing. And they're so used to fishing out of boats that I think it's a little bit harder for them to visualize how much distance I can get with the trolling motor and so forth. But I went up a couple times with a couple of the guys, Bob Brisky, and I went by myself once, and I ended up just forgetting about the lakes, to be quite honest. I think I catch 1 or 2, but it was brutal, and it was 8 hours. And I was just like, I wasn't feeling really good. And even the I think not the day before, but 2 days before the tournament, I just said, well, let's go down to the south side, and I fished it with. Who did I fish that with? I fished it with Dean Law, who finished second. And he didn't even. I fished the south side, so there was just a handful of us that fished the south end of the boundary area, and I wasn't sure either because I caught a few, but they were all small when I was doing it. But then, like a half an hour left of my last day, I caught like a 16.5, and I on some of the back end eddies after the current. Right. I was like, okay, if I just look at my 3 days that I spent on the water, I've gotten more bites in this end. I'm just going to spend some time down here. And I found some waypoints where I got some bites, and then I just worked off of those.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. What kind of tactics were you using? What kind of lures were you throwing out there?
Yeah. So when we talk about fishing your strengths, mine is a wacky worm or or Texas rig worm. So that's, as a beginner, a lot of people start that way, and I guess I'm probably still in that route. And I think it just set up really, really well for me on those days. I mean, the one outside of Fellsmere, I did well at Rodman, and this is connected to St. John, so I felt like, okay, the tournament was set up pretty well for me. Now, if I'd been Istapoga, I might have finished 33rd or something, but. At the end of the day, I fished a lot of wacky worms on the first day of the tournament. I fished them in the eddies, just like I had the couple days before, off of some grass. So as long as there was some current, some grass, I could fish off the backside, and I would get lots of bites. Okay. But the next day, I couldn't get a bite off of that, and so I started at a place that I had marked a few days before, early in pre-fishing. But I didn't fish it my first day. I fished it the second day, and I started catching everything off of wood. And I was like, okay, well, I'll just keep doing that. And then later in the afternoon, and I sometimes you just wish those things would have hit you earlier. Yeah. I was catching them in cypress trees, but specifically between two cypress trees that were like 3 foot apart and had it came down to it in the afternoon. I could have told you exactly where a fish was or where I could get a bite. And I ran out of time when it came down to it. And Chris, he's just dominant performance. As always, he was doing his thing too with the speed work. Chris Mitchell, he's amazing, and he's been awesome to. I fished with him and pre-fished with him in other times, and he produces great videos. If anybody hasn't seen Chris Mitchell, you're going to see him on the big tournaments all over the place. So.
Nice. Didn't he win last year as well?
Yeah, so he's a 2-time winner of AO. He won Angler of the Year and 2-time winner of the championship now. So he's a baller. He makes, and he's made it hard for everybody, but he's made me a better angler because of it. So
right, we'll see how well he does next year, because I guess Randy's switching up the championship spot. From what I heard.
Yeah, no, he's not going to have any problem. I mean, anywhere in Florida, if you have a June bug speed worm, and that's one of his specialties. Like, I mean, I can fish a June bug speed worm, but not like he can. I mean, he's a good guy. I mean, he knows what his strengths are. Now I was telling my wife I'm writing an article about 5 fishing lessons that can help you improve your life. And one of them is about kind of the 80-20 rule. Everyone's heard of that, where you spend all your time. And to me, that's all about, I caught 80% of my fish on 20% of my gear. I don't know why I keep buying more gear, but because, if I just stick with wacky worm and a Texas rig worm, I'm probably going to catch 80% of the fish, of my fish. Yeah. And Chris is probably like that too. And he catches them on everything, I suppose, but everybody has that rule. And if you want a time management rule in life, you learn that from fishing.
I think it's a lot about right. I think it's a lot about finding the balance between confidence baits and what really works.
Yeah. And knowing when your confidence bait isn't working.
Like, you got to know when to fold them. Somebody famous once said that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or just finding, like, John Cox is one of my, he's a Florida fisherman, professional fisherman, and, and he's one of my favorites because, he fully admits, like, he doesn't like to fish a Texas worm, at all because he can't see it. Like, he's a sight fisherman and he's great with the wacky worm. So he just goes, you can have a full body of water and he's just not going to go to certain places because he knows it's not his strength. And that gives me a lot of confidence, to be quite honest, because, you can start beating yourself up. And, you can be humbled when your favorite thing isn't working. And not to say that I'm, I think, Andrew, you asked me what my sophomore plan was going to be, is to get more consistent and to work on other skill sets that I still won't be as good as with the wacky worm, which I could throw anywhere under in a 2-inch gap. I could probably throw under, any dock. But,
it's crazy.
But I still want to get better at it, I guess.
No, it's crazy. Like I have zero confidence with a wacky worm. I've thrown Senko. I'll Texas rig. Like I'll Texas rig a Senko before I wacky it, and I don't know why. But it's one of those things. Same thing with like a DOA shrimp and saltwater. I have zero confidence with those baits. I know they work. I know it in my mind. I know 100% they work, but I just can't pull myself to sit there and like think about it. I psych myself out.
Yeah, I got real familiar with the wacky rig this year. I made it a goal of mine, and I'm quite enjoying it, Buzz. Let me tell you, it catches some good fish.
Well, really I have a lake that's about 20 minutes from my house. It's kind of my home lake, and there's not a lot of people on it. And I'll take you guys there, and it's not easy to get to one of these days. But at the end of the if you want to come out, and you want to. Go fishing on the Kingfisher Kayak Adventures. We can do that too.
Oh yeah.
But I started just taking one thing because like I want to practice with the spinner bait. I'm not going to take anything else. I just need to, because I know myself. I'll throw a spinner bait for about 10 minutes.
Let me get that wacky.
And then I'll get that wacky rig out because I want to start catching fish. So if I really want to practice, I just need to, on your practice day or whatever, you're just fun fishing, just take one thing out there and just try to, just take your, chatterbait box or whatever and just make it, that's your day. And be satisfied that you've caught a lot of other fish out there with everything else. But if you want to get better, I suppose that's the only way to do it.
Yeah, it's almost like limit your options. I do the same thing. I'm limited on time a lot of the times, and I just have these ponds I fish. So I'm literally one reel in it with one lure, and it's either going to work or it isn't. So you kind of, and I've been doing it recently with a chatterbait. I'm trying to figure that out a little bit.
I thought for sure you were going to say 1 rod, 2 reel in it. I was like, what, the reels as you go? Like,
hey, a cat, man. he has 2 reels on 1 rod. It's coming 2022. No, but
1 rod, 2 reels. Yes, you're right. Yeah.
But you're absolutely right. You kind of just dedicate and focus in and try to eliminate distractions of your comfort, right? Because like you said, you're not catching nothing. It kind of sucks. Give me the wacky rig or give me whatever you're strong with. I'm pretty decent with this speed worm too. Bass Assassin has an RSB worm. It's a little bit bigger and bulkier, and that's my go-to. And to put that down is real hard. There it is, right there. Take it out real quick.
Yeah. I mean, you get so much positive reinforcement from it. You just want to stick with it. Yeah, that looks good.
This is savage. This is a 7.5, 7.25. Sorry, 7.25. And this is a new color, gooseberry. It doesn't do it justice from this way, but if I put some light behind it,
it's almost transparent.
Where's this light? There we go. Come on now. Wait for it. There. Wait. I'm backwards and inverted. There we go. Yeah, but no. It looks awesome in actual natural sunlight. Don't mind it. But gooseberry, candy bug, ton of new colors. Watermelon red, chartreuse tail. And
all these punctures tonight, man. We gotta be careful on what we say.
Dude, I don't know what it is. And no, for those of you wondering, this is sparkling water.
Oh my god!
I feel just like all over the place.
What's going on with you, bro? You feel a little bubbly there?
No. So, Buzz, what is it that you're trying to get into? You've mentioned that you want to get into the kayak guiding and the eco tour side of things. How soon can we see you do something like that? Like,
Yeah,
what is your
running, or
do you have a goal?
Yeah. So the original goal was to start back in like March, but because of COVID's delays and on the boats and so forth and equipment, I wasn't even able to get it. So I actually got all 3 of my new canoes. So now I had the F12, and that's what I used for the tournament trail this year. And then I got an unlimited, and just this past week I got a Flint. So could put multiple people on one boat, or just myself, or whatever. So I have a little bit of everything. So I could river fish, or if I want to go on a big lake and feel comfortable, we could do that. So that's starting. And then I've got, conversations with with Rum 138 and probably Canoe Outpost, which is on the Santa Fe River, because what I need right now is to be able to be picked up. So at the end of the day, we could go upstream and back, but it's much better. Yeah, we get more access to fish if we start at 1, and it's an easy float down. And so right now I'm just trying to make those arrangements and then figure out that insurance. So by the end of the year, for sure. I've already kind of done some beta testing with a few people, and we're looking good. But so the website, hopefully, certainly by November, I would say, website will be out there, and then I'll probably start online or on social media first, just because the website takes a little while. It's more informational than anything, and I can get people's photos with their fish and video and stuff later. So November, I would say, is probably a good goal. I'm going to the national championship in Louisiana, so it's going to take some time. My wife and I are moving. We just bought a house here in Gainesville, so
congrats!
Thanks, appreciate that. So
it's been a good year for you, my friend.
Yeah, it's been an interesting one for sure. We've again, ups and downs. We've had some rough times, but we're glad to be back in Florida. We're going to be here. This is where we intend to stay. For the rest of our lives, and just we love Gainesville. A lot of great things have happened to us here, and it's a good town. Lots of good fishing, and I think I like it because there's a lot of college kids that want to go fishing, but there's not a ton of bank fishing. You just can't go to a golf course pond and start fishing around here like you can maybe in Central or South Florida. Mm-hmm. So the kayak is like that perfect mix where they still get their itch to fish, but they don't feel like they have to bring a boat or a kayak and that sort. And there's a lot of good places around here for that.
Nice. When is Louisiana for you? When's that going?
So that's October 13th through the 15th. So I'll probably go up there to pre-fish the week before. And there's a lot of people from the KF going. I think Chris is going, if I recall, and I think Dave Harper.
Dave
going. Michael Nielsen. They're all south of me there, and there's I hope I do well. My goal is to that's always to catch a fish, then maybe get 5 fish, and then see what happens after that. To be quite honest, I want to say my standards are really low, but I'll be something to really brag about if I get in the top 100. Like, that would be incredible. But that's not even a goal for mine. I want to have a good time. I want to learn. Ultimately, I just want to get better every day. So nice. Cool. I consider myself pretty humble. You guys are blowing me up there. I really appreciate it, but I don't feel like that's me at all. So I'm not just happy to be here. I know, don't get me wrong. I want to compete, and I want to beat everybody's brains out when I can. But at the end of the day, the only thing I can do is just fish. I'm happy if I just fished as hard as I could. That's something I learned at Istapoga. Like, everything went wrong for me. I just nothing went right. I just suffered, but the only thing I was really proud about at the end of that thing was that I just kept casting. Like, my last cast, I hooked it onto a dock, and I was like, okay, that just figures. That's really the end of the day. I was like, kind of sums up my whole weekend, but I just didn't stop. And that's kind of one of those other life lessons I'll be writing about is, keep casting is a good life metaphor, because crap can go wrong all the time, but at the end of the day, you just keep trying. It's the whole Mike Iaconelli never give up sort of thing. So you just never know.
Right.
Sometimes it's not going to work out. But look, the next tournament I did great. So
there you go.
And I'm a firm believer in that too. As cliche and corny as it may sound, I just keep casting. It'll work itself out.
Well, you gotta make the best of what you're dealt in any situation. And the best way to do that is to stay above that quicksand line, because it's so easy to get sucked into the negativity, even by yourself. So that's a good mentality to keep. Yeah.
Yeah. The mental of fishing is like you said, Buzz, you can apply that to life in general and replicate that in your daily life. So
I mean, I guess I embraced being humbled. I mean, Istit Poga humbled me. Like I could have the greatest day. And that's the thing with fishing. Like in 15 minutes, you could be so humbled, like you're having the best day of your life, and then you could be totally humbled, and then you just got to knock. That's just fishing. It's just what it is. And for me, that really leads me into being positive in other parts of my life. And I'd like to say I was that way my whole life, but I wasn't, to be quite honest. And they're just like everybody. There's times where you kind of get down on yourself, but that only leads to getting skunked more often. So for me, I've taken what I've learned out of fishing and added that to other parts of my life. And it's really made me enjoy life a lot more.
Nice. Well,
fishing, man, it's so spiritual.
I'm
it's deep, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I feel like
that was awesome.
I'm in the lead right now. Like I feel like
you're right. I am going to keep casting, Buzz.
Yeah, no, like I got to go now.
Fishing now.
No, they were hammers as well. Now Dave might be referring to himself as a hammer, but Dave gets humbled quite a bit on Poga.
Yeah, he does great pre-fishing.
always.
No.
Tournament day.
Shout out to Dave, man. He's a stick on Poga. It is a tough lake, and that's a lake you fish for, Buzz. Trust me, I know for the 5 bites of the day, and that's all you're gonna get. Sometimes.
Yeah, I had 2 bites in 2 days, and I was like, well, okay. And it taught me that, hey, look, that told me I can't just go down there and practice 1 day in advance. I have to get at least 3 days on the water, and I'll feel more comfortable.
And that's a pretty big lake, especially for a kayak. We were talking earlier that, you don't have the luxury of going across the other side of the lake if they're in the cypress trees from the boat ramp. You only got that X amount of distance you can travel. So you got to break that and work that spot down. And that's an Istit Poga thing that they might just not be in that proximity that you can reach.
Yeah.
And you got to really pick it apart. So
I mean, I didn't see another kayaker for 2 days, so it wasn't just where the fish were. I was like, I was in the wrong place.
Yeah.
No, but so you mentioned that you fished out of the F12, right?
Yeah.
That is a very wide vessel. From my understanding, the Unlimited is kind of like if the F12 and the Flint had a baby. And what I saw at iCast, it looked like a great platform. What are your thoughts on the Unlimited?
Yeah, no, I think it is a great platform. I actually haven't been on it. It's been in my garage for a couple of days because we're in the midst of the whole move. But I'm sorry.
I said the move can wait.
I know, exactly. No, I think it's really more between the Pursuit and the F12, because the Pursuit is actually a longer boat.
Right.
And Pursuit and Flint are very similar in the types of the way the deck is built. For me, I think they're going to be pretty similar. Dave Harper, who I think is listening here, has had the Unlimited out on the water. He had it at the championship. He really likes the boat.
Okay.
I know I wish I could say, look, I can tell you from experience is what the case. I can tell you from what I know about the design of it. I mean, it's going to drain a lot better. I think it's going to be faster in the water. But with the trolling motor, it doesn't really matter that much to me. With the F12. I like the room. I don't like the weight of either one of them that much, but because I'm usually hauling them around by myself.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it's what I was used to. So I started with the F12, and I didn't want to switch to the Unlimited, the week before the tournament. Dave Harper has a lot more courage than I do, because he was like,
he understands what he needs but he's been doing it for a long, long time.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I've had the Pursuit and I've had the Flint, and I've enjoyed both of those boats. I think that I need to go up and see you at some point. I think that needs points lead, Joe, mic drop.
Oh, leading in points right now.
Yeah, he's in the points lead. Whatever.
Who is that?
Dave.
Dave.
He's in the comment section. All he does, since we've kicked him off the show, all he does is stay in the comment section, just like nonsense, constant nonsense. He's about to get kicked.
Love you though, Dave.
No, we love you, Dave.
Dude,
but
Buzz,
I want to come up and see them both
Yeah.
side by side. I think it'd be great.
Yeah. No, I got all three, so you can do demos with all of them. So, I mean, that's one reason I wanted to do it on behalf of New Canoe too. Is the dealers that I work with, they're so busy running their business that I got a nice trailer and so forth. I just bring all three, and I can run demos for them. So for me, it gets me into these other counties, so I can hit that goal. I can help one of our New Canoe dealers. And anywhere in the state and anywhere in the country, if somebody wants to have me come up, they can certainly pay for that. That would be awesome. But otherwise, it's just fun for me to go meet, more people. That's the other part about this. Like, I know some people are there, that's all they do is kayak tournaments. And I'm not sure I want to do that. I love doing it in our state. I love doing it with the KAF and I'll do it in other places, but my goal is not to, and I don't even know if I could, but I'm happy to compete with Derek Brundles and Matt Conants and all those guys, on Team New. But, my goal is to, be here in this community that I love and support that and help the fishing industry in the fishing capital of the world. I mean, I think that I can do that from here with these brands that I work with, Shelta hats and Stream to Sea. I don't want to neglect them here because these are companies I really believe in. Okay. So I can do that from anywhere with the internet and invite people to come see me, because we can do this year round down here, which other people don't have that option.
Right.
That's good stuff. That's a beautiful thing.
I do want to say one thing, if you don't mind, guys. I just want to give this group. I volunteer for a group called Florida Fishing for Success program. It's a program that the University of Florida, an outreach program that they have family fishing days once a month for free. So you can bring your family out to the University of Florida agricultural research ponds and go fishing. And I volunteer. I give $100 after every sale of my of a house, whether it's a listing or whether it's a buyer. I give to a conservation organization, and they're one of my favorite ones that I work with. Yeah. And I just want to shout it out. So if you live in Florida and you're interested in supporting the future of fishing, support this program. And they're at University of Florida. It's part of the IFAS outreach programs. And just wanted to most people don't even know about it. And it's, most people think it's a local thing, but it's really statewide. And that university does so much for research, bass research and all sorts of sports fishing research, that I want to support them as much as I can. So I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to tell people about them. Fishing for Success, University of Florida. You can look it up online, or just join me once a month if you're in the Gainesville area. It's so much fun to watch the kids fish and to help them.
No,
learn a new skill.
Cool, actually.
Absolutely. No, I saw you posted a video a little while back.
Yep.
And that was really cool. So one of the things that I do or used to do, I need to do it again, but I haven't done it in a long time. But we held events with a gentleman by the name of Mike Coney, and you need to meet him at some point. He is Johnson Outdoors longtime pro staff, but he does so much for the kids with his organization. He's got his own organization. I'll get you some information on that. And
I'd love that.
Yeah, he does a lot of cool stuff. But what you do with that is awesome.
Thank you.
It's similar, but what he does is more of like teaching stations. So like you're teaching a knot, you're teaching how to, things like that, like all sorts of different things. And everything from Heroes on the Water, you know, helping the vets to kids. I think it's all important. You got to empower people, and you've got to embrace knowledge and all that stuff and share it. So I think I'm like stoked to hear that.
Great. I mean, that's that other lesson. One of those other lessons I'll be writing about. Maybe I'll give it to Kayak Angler Magazine or something like that down the road. But, you know, connections matter. I mean, you know, in the KF, they talk about, you know, the kayak community, and I'm just trying to pass that forward. Everyone has been so generous to me,
right?
And it's been successful because of that. I mean, any success that I have in the tournament trail or in my business or anything like that is really an outcome because other people are helping me. I think we think as anglers, we're single fishermen, and you know, you get your trophy kind of like golf or something like that. But I don't think that's the case in fishing, at least in kayak fishing. I mean, I've met some total a-holes about, you know, not sharing information and that sort of stuff. Not in kayak fishing. That hasn't been my experience. My experience has been just the opposite. And, you know, it's just so important for us to pass that forward, especially at this time, because, you know, people really want to get outside with COVID and that sort of thing. We really need to take advantage of this opportunity. So,
yes, no, I love it, man. I love it. Well, Buzz, I appreciate you joining us. Congratulations on the finish with KF. And, you know, I look forward to seeing more from you, and I'll definitely get in touch with you about coming up, and maybe I can sneak Joe. I don't know.
Oh,
thanks,
I'm coming.
Man.
You ain't sneaking me. I'm coming.
Yeah, man, come on up. I'd love to have you guys put you on the river and get you on a
Swannies, man.
Yeah, bucket list bass, man. We'll get you on it.
It really is. But Buzz, we appreciate your time, man, and thank you for taking the time out of your day to come chat with us here at NextFish.
My pleasure. Thrilled to be here. Thanks a lot, guys.
Awesome, Buzz. Thanks. Take care, bud.
All right. Bye.
I want a Swanee bass, dude.
I want Swanee bass. Now, you know what I understand is, and I should have brought this up, but we can go into this another day. And aren't there sturgeon up that way?
Yeah, dude, the freaking sturgeons, bro. We still need to get to. We're working our way up to the one spot in the 5 days that they're accessible.
I'm gonna get one.
They're like a limited release. Like they're there, and then they're gone, and there's only one spot. Like you got to get it in, but you got to survive them too, apparently, because they'll bust you down.
No. So again, thank you, Buzz. That was awesome. Make sure you guys tune in next week. We've got an awesome show planned on Tuesday. I've got some really, really cool Karen videos and Marin videos. I found the mother load. Okay.
Yeah, let me tell you, this guy just constantly sends stuff. So, and let me tell you, he's got some cool stuff. He's got some really cool stuff.
Yes. No. So with that being said, the following Thursday, we've got Captain Jim Ross from the Space Coast, Fine Line Fishing Charters. He will be coming on. He is a legit legend. And what I mean by that is he's absolutely a knowledge bank. He's been fishing over there for probably since dirt was formed.
Yeah.
But he used to run an inshore class, right? It was an inshore fishing class. And the likes of C.A. Richardson was one of his students. Like he's like, what? Yeah, dude, no, like he's got it figured out. But he is a good friend of mine, and I'm looking forward to that show because we've got a lot of cool stuff. I've got some videos that I've done for him in the past, and those are really cool. We'll play one next week.
Yeah, we'll drop some in between.
But no, guys, that's all for me tonight. Joe, if you have anything else.
No, that's it. Till Tuesday, tune in for some shenanigans between me and Andrew. Let's see if he can catch a fly with some chopsticks. We'll look at some Karens and some Marins and some would Andrew throw these lures. You know, we'll find some sketchy lures and see if Andrew will throw them. I'm sure he will. But till Tuesday. Bye.